It's a bit of an early start this morning, but we're on our way to Karkloof from Devlin to go and ride with one of the pioneers of the sport, Hylton Turvey. And mountain biking is not really that old, so we're still kind of quite in touch with the guys who started out, and him and a couple of other guys made it happen out there, and it's cool to go and ride with them and hear a couple of stories about how they got going, how they got into mountain biking.
I think I got my first bike in 1984 purely by mistake. I went into Maritzburg to the bike shop Hatton's, which is still there. It's got different owners, but Mr. Hatton still owned it back in the day. You know, the guys were looking at this bike in the shop, and before I knew what had happened, I'd put my money on the counter for one as well. I think it was 450 rand. That weekend I joined these guys for a trip up Sani Pass, of all places. So that was really my first experience, and off we went in khaki shorts, t-shirt, running shoes, no gloves or helmets or anything. I don't think we even bothered, but we didn't have water bottles even. And it wasn't long after that when the bug bit a few other guys locally in the Karkloof. And we knew nothing about single track. You know, it was all plantation road riding and on the district roads. And you know, Hilly had always been totally fanatical about bikes, and he had BMXs and built trails all over the place for him and his mates. So he came on board and he fine-tuned a lot of these trails, and he built and built and built. And it wasn't long when we realized, you know, this guy actually has this huge talent and everyone's benefiting from it, and he then made it his career.
I think my favorite thing about riding bikes would have to be just purely the freedom. I've got memories of, you know, my dad and his friends going out to ride and explore on their bikes, and my mom was sort of freaking out because it's getting late now, and back then they didn't have cell phones, and there wasn't like a marked route. It was like purely exploring. I don't think that'll ever die, in people just wanting to explore.
Sappy's the major landowner in this area. At least 80% of the trails in the Karkloof actually traverse their property. A couple of years ago it was time to start formalizing things a little bit more, and hence I came on board as a consultant, and that involved basically engaging with all the stakeholders in the area, but particularly the Karkloof Mountain Bike Club and the Karkloof Mountain Biking Race Committee to develop a plan to make the trail safer, more enjoyable for people. Implemented the trail grading system as it should be implemented in South Africa. Put in place all the signage you can now see out on the trails. The Karkloof is becoming one of the premier mountain bike destinations in the country. It's just such a spectacular area to ride in. There are over 120 kilometers of single track in this area. We're hoping to see more families come down and ride in the Karkloof in the future.
It's an incredible, real mountain bike experience. The trails are amazing. The guys have done a great job with their signage and setting up the routes, but there is still that element of being able to guide and explore and ride all of these amazing trails. I mean, they are just incredible. If you love riding bikes and you want to have a great trail experience, I can't think of a better place to go in South Africa to ride bikes. I think for us this is really one of the best places that you could possibly ride bikes in South Africa, or anywhere for that matter. This is truly, truly world class.